Hello students, welcome to Sort of Classes. Today our topic is competitive reasoning, and here some questions are given. In our first question, a passage is given, and on the basis of this passage we have to solve the other questions. Now let's read the passage very carefully. 8 people. So there are 8 people who are sitting in 2 parallel rows containing 4 people each. So there are 2 parallel rows in which each of the rows are containing 4 people. Now, in such a way that there is an equal distance between adjacent persons. So there is an equal distance between adjacent persons. Now, in row 1, A, B, C and D are seated, but not necessarily in the same order. They may be sit like D, B, C, A, like this, and all of them are facing south. So in row 1, all of the members are facing towards south. And in row 2, E, F, G and H are seated, but not necessarily in the same order like row 1, and all of them are facing north. Therefore, in the given seating arrangement, each member seated in the row faces another member of the other row, because in row 1 they are facing towards south, and in row 2 they are facing towards north. So in the given seating arrangement, each member seated in the row faces another member of the other row. Now it's given that G sits second to the right of E. The one who faces E sits to the immediate right of C. A faces the immediate neighbor of E, and H sits to immediate left of the person who faces D. H does not sit at an extreme end of the line. So now let's start. At first, let's make the arrangement of their positions. Now we know that this side is north, this side is south, this is east, and this side is west. So let's take that A. From the given informations in the passage, we can say that their positions are A is facing towards south, B is also facing towards south, C towards south, and D is also facing towards south. Now in row 2, the members are F, who is facing towards north, E is also facing towards north, H facing towards north, and G. Now this is our required seating arrangement, and we made it from the informations that are given in the passage. Now let's solve the questions. Okay, so our first question is, 4 of the following 5 are alike in a certain way based on the given seating arrangement and thus form a group. Now which is the one that does not belong to that group? Now except E, all others are sitting at the extreme end of the line. From the seating arrangement, we can see that only E is not at the extreme end, otherwise A, D, F and G are at the extreme ends. So from this we can say that option 1, that is E, is the one that does not belong to that group. So option 1 is the correct answer. Now let's go to our next question. The question is, who amongst the following faces A? So we have to find the person who is just in opposite of A. Now let's go back to the seating arrangement, and from this arrangement we can see that the person is F, who is sitting just opposite to A. So here the person is F, that is option 2. Now here is our next question. The question is, who amongst the following faces the person who sits exactly between G and E? So at first we have to find the person who is sitting in between, exactly between G and E. Then we have to find the person who is just in opposite to this person. So let's go back to the question, to the seating arrangement. And the person who sits exactly between G and E is, here is G and this one is E. So the person is here H. So H sits exactly between E and G, and the person who is just opposite to H is C. So C faces H. Now option 3, that is C, is the person who faces the person who sits exactly between G and E. So our answer is option 3, that is C. Now let's go to our last question, and the question is, who amongst the following faces G? So we have to find the person who is just in opposite to G. Now going back to the seating arrangement, let's find the person who is just in opposite to G. Okay, so here is G, and the person who is just in opposite to G is D. So here the person who faces G is D, that is option 4. So option 4 is our correct answer.